Что это?
Some vanished mid-sentence.
Whoa!
Others walked through walls,
やばいやばいやばいやばいやばいやばいやばいやばいやばすげえ
floated above forests, or survived death by a whisper. From headless strangers to silent saviors, these aren't just urban legends. They were caught on camera. Real people, impossible stories. And once you've seen them, you'll never look at a crowded street the same way again. The basketball stretch shot. The energy was electric inside the gym, just another basketball game, with the crowd cheering every play. But then, one shot silenced everyone. A player made what looked like a routine move, sinking the ball with ease. Nothing unusual until the slow-motion replay revealed something no one could explain. His arm stretched, not a little, but far beyond what any human limb should. Smooth, natural, as if his body wasn't bound by human limits at all. This wasn't a glitch. It wasn't camera distortion. It looked terrifyingly real. And for those who believe in hidden reptilian beings living among us, this clip has become one of their most chilling pieces of evidence. The vanishing trail rider. It was the perfect day for adventure. Two friends racing down a mountain trail, the sun above them, the wind at their backs. One had a camera rolling, but what it captured defies explanation. The lead rider suddenly vanished. One moment he was there, flying down the path. The next, gone. His bike hit the dirt like he had simply evaporated into thin air. The friend behind slammed his brakes, panicked, scanning the trees, the ground, the sky. But there was nothing. No sound, no trace, just silence. Shaken, he didn't wait around to find out what had taken his friend. Some disappearances never leave answers behind. Fading biker. In Dallas, a man was casually reviewing his home CCTV when something unusual caught his eye. A young boy pedaled up on a bicycle, stopping briefly at the edge of the driveway. For a moment, it looked ordinary, just another quiet neighborhood scene. But then, the boy began to fade. His outline grew weaker, more transparent, until finally, he vanished completely, leaving only the empty bike path behind. The homeowner asked around, but no one recognized the boy. No neighbors had seen him, and no child was ever spotted riding through again. It was as if the camera had captured a memory, one that was never meant to exist. The ghost doctor. It was a quiet night at the hospital, routine, uneventful, until the security guard did something that made no sense. On camera, he stood up, greeted someone, even wrote something down as if taking instructions. Moments later, he went inside to call a staff member. At first, nothing seemed unusual until the CCTV was reviewed. No one was there. The guard had been speaking to thin air. When confronted, his face went pale. He swore he'd been talking to a senior doctor, describing him perfectly, right down to the clipboard he carried. But that doctor had died months earlier. Since then, no one looks at the night shift the same way again. Flying girl. Deep in the frozen woods of Russia, a man was walking his dog when the animal suddenly grew restless, growling at something unseen. Curious, the man followed, and what he captured on camera still defies explanation. There, in the clearing, a young girl floated high above the ground, levitating as if gravity no longer applied. Beneath her stood an older woman, watching closely. Whispers say it was her mother, a witch. The cameraman, trembling in disbelief, accidentally stumbled, snapping a branch beneath his feet. The sound alerted them. In an instant, both figures vanished into the forest, gone without a trace. To this day, no one knows who they were, or how that girl was able to fly. Portal attempt. Late at night in a deserted park, a man in a black hoodie appeared on camera. His movements were slow, deliberate, like he was searching for something only he could see. He stopped near a bench, glanced around, and then it began. Strange lights flickered from the ground beneath him, glowing and pulsing as if something was trying to break through. Was he opening a portal, sending a signal? No one knows. Moments later, the lights faded, and without a word, the hooded figure turned and walked away, never once revealing his face. the footage still lingers online, leaving one haunting question. What exactly was he trying to reach? Confused teleporter. On a busy road, a semi-truck came within inches of disaster. A man in a lab coat suddenly appeared in front of it, like he had materialized out of thin air. The driver swerved just in time, narrowly avoiding a fatal impact. But here's where it gets stranger. Rewinding the footage, you can see the man was already standing at the side of the road until the exact moment the truck passed. That's when he stepped forward, right into danger, as if teleported by mistake. And that wasn't the only bizarre capture. In Mexico, CCTV recorded a woman in red walking casually down the street. But as the camera followed her, her head began to glitch. At first it warped and flickered, then it simply vanished, while the rest of her body stayed completely intact. No other person or object in the frame was affected. 2 clips, 2 impossible events, camera errors, or chilling signs that reality itself isn't as stable as we think. The vanishing guardian. He was just crossing the street like any other day, completely unaware of the car speeding straight toward him. In the blink of an eye, someone appeared out of nowhere. A shadowy figure grabbed him, pulled him across the road, and vanished just as quickly as they came. The man stood frozen, struggling to process what just happened. One moment he was inches from death. The next, he was safe on the other side, staring in disbelief. Who was that stranger? A guardian angel? Or something far less human? Headless encounter. Deep inside an abandoned station in Indonesia, a lone tourist found himself face to face with something he will never forget. Across the platform stood a figure, but something was terribly wrong. It had no head, it didn't move, it didn't flinch. It simply stood there, as if it belonged to that forgotten place. The silence only made it worse. Terrified, the tourist ran without looking back, and to this day, he insists what he saw was real. Some places are left abandoned for a reason, and maybe this is one of them. And now, it's time for the subscriber's pick. At first glance, it seems ordinary, a blurry photo of 2 kids near a basketball court in the Philippines. But here's the problem. There was only supposed to be one. This photo was taken back in 2003 during preparations for a local tournament, when a shadowy black figure was caught sprinting across the field. No one at the scene saw it, not before, not after. It existed only in the footage, and under closer analysis, the mystery only deepened. The figure cast no shadow. Its body appeared unnaturally dark, even with light shining directly on it. Locals called it one of the clearest full-body apparitions ever recorded in the country. Proof of a spirit? Or something far stranger caught on camera? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Wall walker? In 2016, CCTV outside a convenience store captured something that still baffles viewers today. A hooded man approached a closed 7-Eleven and, without hesitation, walked straight through the locked glass door. At the exact same moment, the security camera glitched, just long enough to miss the impact that should have happened. Seconds later, the man casually walked back out, drink in hand, as if nothing was unusual. A homeless man nearby froze in disbelief, watching the impossible unfold right in front of him. Skeptics call it a clever camera trick, but others believe this was proof of someone who could bend the very laws of physics. Creeping figure. While reviewing CCTV late at night, a security guard stumbled on footage that made his blood run cold. On the screen, a ghostly figure appeared out of nowhere, draped in long, flowing white clothes, gliding silently across the ground as if it wasn't even touching it. For a moment, it paused, turning its head, scanning the area like it was searching for something, or someone. And then, just as suddenly, it melted back into the darkness. The footage showed no glitches, no distortions, nothing that could explain it away. To this day, no one has been able to say what the guard truly captured that night, only that it looked like something torn straight out of an old folktale. Superhuman strength. On an ordinary construction site, one worker decided to start filming, but what he captured is anything but ordinary. In the footage, a man steps forward and does something no human should be capable of. With his bare hands, he grips a 4-ton truck and shifts it aside like it was nothing more than a shopping cart. No strain, no struggle. Just raw, impossible power on full display. The workers around him were stunned, and the video has left viewers questioning ever since. Was this pure strength, or proof of something far beyond human? The Eerie Man. From Malaysia comes a clip that's been quietly unsettling viewers across the internet. At first glance, it looks ordinary. A man walking down the street on a normal day. But then you notice it. He has no head. What's disturbing is how calm he appears, strolling without hesitation, showing no sign of pain or confusion. Even stranger, people nearby don't react at all, passing him like nothing is wrong. The footage is clear, sharp enough to rule out pixel glitches, and yet his head is simply missing. Some dismiss it as camera error, but others believe it's something much darker, a glitch in reality, or perhaps a spirit crossing into our world. Mystery Savior. On an ordinary day near a construction site, security cameras recorded a moment that defies explanation. A man was casually walking by when, without warning, a massive metal gate gave way, crashing down with deadly force. But just before impact, a stranger appeared at his side. With a simple tap on the shoulder, he pulled the man to safety. The gate slammed into the ground where he had been standing only seconds before. Shaken, the man turned to thank his savior. But the stranger was already gone. No one saw where he came from. No one saw where he went. It was as if he appeared for one purpose only, to save a life, and then vanished into thin air. Man with Two Faces. Edward Morake lived with something no one could truly explain. A second face growing on the back of his head. It couldn't eat, it couldn't speak, but it could cry. It could smile. And at night, it whispered things only Edward could hear. Terrible things. Doctors refused to remove it, fearing the risks. Some said it was harmless, but Edward swore it mocked him when he was sad, laughed when he cried, and tormented him endlessly. In the end, the burden became too much. Before taking his own life, Edward left behind a chilling note describing the horrors he endured. But even that note mysteriously vanished. A man with two faces, one alive, one haunting him until the very end. So, were they glitches in reality, spirits in disguise, or something far more mysterious? One thing's clear, the cameras never blinked. If you've seen something strange, or someone you can't explain, drop it in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep your eyes open. You never know who's watching.